On February 6, 1862, United States gunboats bombarded Fort Henry, a Confederate fortress located on the Tennessee River at the Tennessee-Kentucky border, which guarded the ascent upriver into the Tennessee Valley. The gunboat flotilla, commanded by Flag Officer Andrew Hull Foote, steamed upriver from Paducah, which had been in federal hands since September 1861. Despite an appeal from civic leaders throughout North Alabama to shore up the fortress, Fort Henry was flooded and largely evacuated by the time the gunboats arrived on February 6th. After a bombardment of 75 minutes, the Confederates surrendered. After the surrender, a small squadron of 3 timber-clad gunboats, the Lexington, Tyler, and Conestoga, under command of Lieutenant Commander Seth Ledyard Phelps, received orders to proceed 25 miles upriver and destroy the Memphis and Ohio Railroad bridge. When they reached the bridge, however, which the Confederates had disabled in order to obstruct their passage, they caught sight of a number of Confederate steamboats fleeing the scene. The Federals repaired the bridge to allow their passage and gave chase in hot pursuit of the fleeing Confederates. During the pursuit, Phelps's squadron captured Confederate war material and several steamboats, the Sally Wood, Muscle, and Eastport, the latter of which was undergoing conversion into an ironclad at Cerro Gordo, Tennessee. At dawn on February 8th, Phelps's squadron, now just the Lexington and Conestoga, passed Eastport, Mississippi, and entered the state of Alabama. When they came within sight of Florence, the Confederates immediately set fire to 3 steamboats in order to scuttle them. Phelps landed a small force at Florence, seizing whatever war material he was able to carry away and destroying the rest. The local citizens very quickly got involved and came to the waterfront to parley with Phelps. Phelps described the 2 requests the townspeople made. Quote, "A deputation of citizens of Florence waited upon me, first desiring that they might be able to quiet the fears of their wives and daughters with assurances from me that they should not be molested, and secondly praying that I would not destroy their railroad bridge. As for the first, I told them that we were neither ruffians nor savages, and that we were there to protect them from violence and to enforce the law. And with reference to the second, that if the bridge were away, we could ascend no higher, and that it could possess, so far as I saw, no military importance." End quote. Even the Florence Gazette, while emphatically decrying the destruction of Confederate government property, admitted that Phelps and his men were on their good behavior. Quote, "A courteous interview took place between the commander of the expedition and a deputation of our citizens, in which the citizens of the town were assured that violence was not intended to person or property of peaceful citizens. We believe this pledge was kept, and soon after the sable shades of night were drawn over this sad spectacle." End quote. Phelps also claimed to have witnessed what he called, quote, "the most gratifying proofs of loyalty," end quote, from the local people he encountered along the river. Quote, "Men, women, and children several times gathered in crowds of hundreds, shouted their welcome, and hailed their national flag with an enthusiasm there was no mistaking. It was genuine and heartfelt." End quote. He and his men were astonished to see such open Union sentiment so deep in the Confederacy. Some citizens even confided in Phelps that if they were provided with a little military support, they could arm themselves into regiments loyal to the Union. While Phelps's description of the sentiment may have been somewhat exaggerated, for Unionists in the Shoals community, the arrival of the Union gunboats certainly offered a cautious glimmer of hope. Thomas Jefferson Seipert recalled, quote, "But the boats remained up the river only a short time, leaving us in a rather critical condition. Their trip up, however, had the good effect of scattering the secessionists and giving us Union men a better opportunity for deliberation." End quote. Just 2 months after Phelps landed at Florence at the Battle of Shiloh, 50 miles downstream, one of the gunboats Phelps brought to Florence, the Lexington, helped to stem the tide of the Confederate advance as the battle reached the waterfront at the end of the first day's fighting. For the remainder of the Civil War, United States gunboats patrolled the Tennessee River uncontested, with the exception of the 37-mile stretch of the Muscle Shoals.